What's going on, everyone? My name is Jake, this is where I talk capes, and today, finally, we have Spider-Man news. It's finally upon us. So today, as I record this, it's 10 to 10 on the 2nd of April. At the time of announcement in America, this dropped on the 31st of March at CinemaCon. We've got some big news and some big announcements coming out of the Sony camp, especially involving Spider-Man. We have two major bits of Spider-Man news coming out of CinemaCon, and today we're going to talk about both of them here on this video. Let's just crack on then with the first bit of news, probably the one that I guess is probably bigger, but there's less to it, and I am less excited around this news compared to the other bit of Spider-Man news. Of course, the biggest news coming out of the Spider-Man camp is that we finally have a title and a release date for MCU Spider-Man 4, that being Spider-Man Brand New Day, which will release on July the 31st, 2026. Now, the title of Brand New Day is taken from a run on The Amazing Spider-Man by Bob Gale and Dan Slott. I can't say I've read the run. I do really like Dan Slott. I'm a big fan of his work and his run on She-Hulk. I actually have the entire Dan Slott She-Hulk omnibus. One second. As you can tell here, with me having the whole omnibus of Slott's run on She-Hulk, I'm a massive fan of Dan Slott. I'm also a massive fan of She-Hulk. We've got some Spider-Man stuff in this, and this was kind of, from what I understand and from how I know, this was kind of his launching point into going on to write on The Amazing Spider-Man and really kind of become a household name writing on The Amazing Spider-Man. So I do know that Brand New Day is a Dan Slott Spider-Man book. However, I'm not going to talk too much about the plot of that. I've not read it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it. I would assume if you're naming a movie after it that it's probably quite a beloved one, but again, I can't speak to the quality of that book or of that run. But of course, the big news with this does mean that we are now getting Spider-Man 4 for the MCU. That has been confirmed. We have a release date as well coming next summer. It's that movie in between, I believe it's coming out in between both of our Avengers movies. I mean, it must be, yeah. So if we remember from the original Phase 6 announcement, we were told we could have the Fantastic Four at the start. We had the Kang Dynasty, which is now Doomsday, and Secret Wars at the end, with 2 films in between those Avengers movies. We now know that Spider-Man Brand New Day will be one of those 2 movies in between the Avengers movies. And I'm actually very excited for that. And I also think, with Spider-Man being left out of the cast announcement for Doomsday, I really think this is the time to just do a real character reset on Spider-Man in the MCU and really get back to basics with the character. Like I have said, I am unfamiliar with the Dan Slott run titled Brand New Day, but in terms of just looking at that title as a complete outsider and with complete just biases and everything stripped away, if we're just looking at it objectively, it feels like the title is guiding us towards the fact that we're ideally and hopefully going back towards a street level Spider-Man. Obviously, you know, he was Iron Man Jr., you know, he was the big tentpole, it was fine, it was good, we got some good fun movies out of that, some good fun stuff happened, but Spider-Man is inherently the most interesting when he is that street level character, when he is broke, when he is struggling to go through college and hold down jobs, and he's trying to freelance, and he's trying to be Spider-Man, and it's ruining his life, and it's ruining his relationships, and it's all of these things are happening. That's, to me, the most important and interesting aspect of the character of Spider-Man. And I think stepping away from the eccentricities of Tom Holland's run on Spider-Man, taking him away from, you know, all the Stark tech and the Avengers and all of these things, and he's been to space and he was involved in the big battle for the fate of the universe and the snap and everything like that. And that's obviously how No Way Home ended, with us taking it right back down to the basics of the character. Everyone forgets who he is. Aunt May is dead now. He's in a shithole apartment. He's finishing up his GED to get his high school diploma, and then he's just gonna have to be in the real world and also be Spider-Man. And he, you know, was sewing his own suit and all that stuff. That's exactly what Spider-Man should be. And genuinely, probably my favourite part of No Way Home is that ending. On top of this, John Watts is no longer involved in this project. As we know, the director has been confirmed to be Shang-Chi's Destin Daniel Cretton, who I think is an incredible director. Shang-Chi is one of my favourite MCU films. For the most part, I do think towards the end it loses the run of itself, but I don't think that's his fault. I think everything he does injects that movie with so much heart and charm, and it's so fast and quick, and it's always in motion, which is how a Spider-Man film should be. Plus the announcement, or I guess the rumours is announced officially, Sadie Sink officially in this movie, we just don't know who it is. Again, I think Sadie Sink is an incredibly talented actor. There is obviously the criticisms that we can be levelling at Hollywood casting these days, after Maya Hawke said that movie producers are looking at Instagram followers as a metric these days. And whilst I understand that there are probably some people doing that, and I understand if Sadie Sink is in this film or getting a role in Marvel, I do think her very prominent position being in Stranger Things and her large social media following don't hurt her case. I do think she is a really talented actor. I think out of all the Stranger Things kids, she's probably, her and Caleb McLaughlin are the two that I'm kind of the most drawn to, that I think are probably the best out of them all. And I would like to see them get more opportunities. And I understand, you're going from one big franchise thing to another big franchise thing, but I think Sadie Sink could be a lot of fun in whatever role it is. I mean, the rumoured one is MJ. I mean, fine. I just don't get it. But apart from that, all the signs for this movie are looking good. Obviously, it's way too early to know anything about the plot. Now, I mean, there's probably hints with the name of that book, but I'm not too sure at what point in Peter's life that book is set. I don't know anything about that book, like I've said. So there is probably hints to the plot and maybe ideas that we could kind of think about what the plot is that I just don't know, because I've not read that book. So if you have, let me know if you think there's anything that the content of the book that this movie is named after could actually bring to this, because I'm very interested to know and hear all those thoughts down below. But much more importantly, we have Spider-Verse news. Originally, Beyond the Spider-Verse was set to drop in 2024. It is now dropping in 2027. I'm very upset about that, but I'm so happy we finally have a release date for this film, as well as some stills from the movie. Okay, first of all, spoilers for Across the Spider-Verse if you haven't seen it, before we jump into these photos from Beyond the Spider-Verse. So first of all, we have a look at Miles as Prowler, or I guess Earth 1310's Prowler, or 38's Prowler, whatever Earth he's in. We get a look at Prowler, who is an alternate Miles Morales, alternate reality Miles Morales. We have a Miles and Prowler fight here going on. I love this. I absolutely love this here. A nice shot of Miles kind of swinging through the city, hanging onto a train probably, or on the side of a bus. And this one looks just gorgeous. The colours, everything about the Spider-Verse movies are just so fucking good. This one here, I love this photo here. I love this still here of Miles and Gwen. Just everything about it is just so beautiful. These movies are... I love these movies so much. Another shot of Miles there, suits all torn up, hanging upside down. And that's what we have so far, as well as a new poster. Beyond the Spider-Verse has also been given a release date of the 4th of June 2027, as I mentioned earlier. So this movie is going to be coming out 9 years after the first one, which is, as many people know, one of my favourite movies of all time, as is the second one. I'm very excited that they're being given the room to stick the landing on this. As much as I was excited for the initial two Spider-Verses in back-to-back years, with the writer's strike and all the horror stories we hear about big studios kind of pushing the animators and pushing the VFX guys to meet these deadlines, I'd much rather wait for this movie to come out. I'd much rather wait that longer period of time to have something crafted with the care of the first two, because it's so clear that those first two movies, the original movie especially, Into the Spider-Verse especially, is such a labour of love. You can tell with every sort of frame of that movie, it's been crafted with love and affection and care and attention to detail. Every single part of that movie works because every single person who's working on that movie put their heart and soul into it. And as much as I was originally very excited at the possibility of Across in 2023 and Beyond in 2024, I'm much happier to see them take their time and not rush this out and cap off this trilogy the way that it deserves. So those are the two big bits of Spider-Man news coming out of CinemaCon. We finally have confirmation on Spider-Man 4 in the MCU, as well as some long-awaited good Spider-Verse news. But let me know what you guys think of all of that down below. Like I said, if you have read Brand New Day, please let me know if there's any little things that could possibly be tied in with the plot. What is that book about? How could that to tie into where Peter is in the MCU right now. And let me know if you're excited for it. Let me know if you're less excited for it. Are you happy they're probably going back to the street level, or do you think they should just be pushing him as the face of Marvel, as the face of the MCU? He should be doing all these big things. He should be fighting Doom, and he should be going to space and all that stuff. Let me know if that is, if you do fall on that side. Let me know down below why you're so wrong. And again, with Spider-Verse, are you excited? I want to know everyone's thoughts on all of this. Don't forget to leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments. I really do want to know what you guys are thinking of everything. But that's it for me today. I'm done talking about Spider-Man for today, for now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this to all your mates and show them the handsome man on YouTube with the good comic book movie opinions. My name is Jake. This is Where I Talk Capes, and thanks for watching.